This is a social justice voting guide for those in LA County. 2 disclaimers. Number 1, I am not trying to change anyone's mind with this video. This is for people who already consider themselves social justice warriors or leftists, even liberal progressives, although you could argue this isn't very leftist because I'm still working within the system. Also, if you've already voted, you don't really need to watch this video. Or you can, and then just question everything you chose. Disclaimer 2. I hope this is obvious, but you shouldn't vote for something or someone just because I say to. Please do your own research. This is me just compiling my own research and hoping that it can help. I've compiled all of my resources in the description so you can check my work. Let's get started. Let's start with propositions. So Proposition 13 is statewide, so if you're in California, it doesn't matter what county you're in, you have this proposition on your ballot. I urge you to vote yes. Basically, Prop 13 authorizes $15 billion in general obligation bonds, which I looked up, and it's money that California borrows from bond buyers, so it's debt, but it's used by states and local governments to raise funds for public works. So this $15 billion would go towards construction projects for schools K through 12, but also college campuses around the state. It also affects the way that schools receive bond money. So currently schools that apply for funds get them on a first-come, first-served basis, but Prop 13 would change that by prioritizing schools that require health or safety repairs, like improved drinking water, earthquake safety things. It prioritizes that, schools with a large proportion of students from low-income families, and schools with projects that use unionized labor. Prop 13 also gives school districts the ability to raise more money through local property taxes to pay for their own bonds. Prop 13 is supported by the California Teachers Association. So in summary, in the simplest terms, Prop 13 puts more money into schools that need it at the cost of taxpayers like me. I do pay property taxes, so I will be directly affected, but I still think this is a good thing. Vote yes. Okay, this is just for LA County. Measure R, vote yes. So, I have my little notes. Measure R strengthens civilian oversight over the Sheriff's Department and refocuses county priorities on improving mental health care and reducing incarceration. Huh? Okay, what does that mean? So, there's this thing called the Civilian Oversight Commission, and Measure R gives it direct power to issue subpoenas at the Sheriff's Department. Basically, it raises police accountability, transparency, and then also, really rad, also directs the commission to create a plan that lowers the incarcerated population, especially focusing on those with mental health issues and moving those individuals into treatment from jail. So it's supported by the ACLU, LA Times, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, the whole lot of them. In summary, Measure R raises police accountability and transparency, works towards ending mass incarceration, and increases access to mental health care and drug treatment services. Vote yes. People. This is where it gets a little tricky because there is a lot of people on the ballot depending on which district you live in. And so I'm just going to highlight a few people, but please do your due diligence about the people on your specific ballot. President. Bernie Sanders. I'm going to skip an explanation of this one because it's the easiest to find information on and the most obvious for people who consider themselves leftists. DA, the district attorney. Vote Rachel Rossi. The DA is basically the most powerful person in the LA criminal justice system. The main thing is that you don't want to vote for Jackie Lacey. She is the current DA. She doesn't support abolition of cash bail. Black Lives Matter has endorsed removing her from office. Rachel Rossi is a public defender. Her platform, she states that she would prosecute far fewer misdemeanors, particularly those committed by homeless people. Rossi would end cash bail and stop pursuing capital punishment. And of note, Rachel is endorsed by the LA chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America. The third person running is George Gascon? I'm so sorry if I mispronounce these names. So he is a career police officer and prosecutor who also promises reform, although it gets tricky because, like Lacey, he has come under fire for not prosecuting killer cops when he worked in San Francisco. So in summary, don't vote Jackie, consider Rachel Rossi. City Council. So this particular person only applies if you live in District 4, which apparently I do because she's on my ballot. Nathaya Rahman, or Nathaya Rahman, again, I'm so sorry. She is also endorsed by the DSA and the LA Public Defenders Union. If you're in a different district, I've linked the voter guides for, I've linked the voter guides from the Future Left and the Sunrise Movement. The Sunrise Movement only endorsed 9 candidates that specifically are running for a Green New Deal. So definitely check out those resources. But again, don't blindly vote for anyone just because someone says. And I'm still doing my research on the judges. There's always a million judges on the ballot. Also, depends on your location. So something to look for in judges is what's their rating from the Bar Association, what is their past work, check out their websites, and look to see who's endorsing them. I hope this helped. And of course there is far more you can do in addition to voting. You can get involved with local grassroots organizations or nonprofits. There's always demonstrations happening in LA. You can also organize or canvass for a specific candidate you're passionate about, Bernie, and or donate to specific campaigns if you have money to spare. Finally, I just want to say, voting is a privilege. Not everyone can vote. So if you're eligible, please do so. The deadline to register to vote is voting day, so if you're not registered yet, you can still do it. We vote on March 3rd is the official day, but you can vote by mail sooner, although the deadline has passed to request that ballot. But you can actually vote in person anytime from now until March 3rd, depending on the voting center, which is rad. I think that's new this year. Information is always coming out, but I hope this is helpful to someone. Schools with projects that used schools with